In today's video, I'm going to show you how to take a simple candlestick pattern and translate it into some ThinkScript code. Once you translate it into some ThinkScript code, that allows you to turn this pattern into an indicator, it allows you to turn this pattern into a scan, and it allows you to turn this pattern into a backtester. So understanding how to go from this simple visual observation into code has a lot of powerful benefits associated with it. Now, the pattern that I'm going to be focusing in on is this pattern right here. It's one in which the previous candle or the previous bar's candle looks to be a strong candle in the direction of that preceding trend. So in this case, we're looking at a bullish reversal. So this is a strong bearish candle. What do I mean by strong bearish candle? Well, let's point out some of the observations that we can see. This candle closed near its lows. The candle closed below where it's opened, so it's a red candle. We can also see that the next bar's candle opened above where this previous bar's candle closed, so there's some gap here. This current candle closed above the previous candle's high, so that tells us that we're now moving in this bullish direction. It also goes without stating that this current candle, the reversal candle, should be in the direction of the new trend. So in this case, a bullish candle. And I think that's at least a good first initial set of observations. So let's go ahead and capture those and turn that into an indicator. To do that, I click the settings icon first, and then I'm going to click create, and let me delete all of the code inside and capture all of the observations we just dated. So we said on this current candle, so let's actually divide this current candle, previous candle. So on our current candle, we said that this must be a green candle. The close price of this current candle must be greater than the high price of the previous candle, so that we know that we've actually closed above where this candle was able to reach. Gives us some confirmation of a bullish trend. The other one that we know we want to look at was the open price should be greater than where the previous candle closed, so we have this little bit of gap here. Then for that previous candle, we were looking that this must be a red candle, and this is, I guess, in the case of a bullish reversal first, and then we can focus on the bearish one after. So for the bullish one, that previous candle should have been a red candle. We also know that the previous candle, the close price should be towards the, or should be near the lows of the candle. Then after that, we also had, we had the bearish candle, we had the lows. I think that's actually all we really want from the previous candle. Let's go ahead and translate this and see if there's any other fake outs that we need to take care of. But this gives us a good starting point. So let's turn this into some code. Let's start with current candle condition. And here, let's translate each of these three. So the first one is must be a green candle. The way we check that, our close price is greater than the open. After that, close price must be greater than the previous candle's high. And we can actually copy paste this because this is code that ThinkOrSwim can recognize. Our open price must be greater than the previous candle's close. I'll close this out with a semicolon. Now let's add in our previous candle condition. Here we set our previous candle. This must be a red candle, so the close price of the previous candle must be less than the open price. And then the other condition we had was we must be near the lows of the candle. The way I think we can measure this, we can take what is the range of this candle. Once we have the range, let's divide it, let's say, into 6. So we have, let's say, 1, 2, 3, 6, 3, 6, 4, 6, 5, 6, and then a 6, 6. And we'll take each one of those 6, and we want to say that we should have closed in that bottom 6. So it's almost if we took the entire candle, divided it into 6 chunks, and saying that we should be in the bottommost chunk. That's how I'm going to measure this, my workaround for that condition. So to do that, let's go ahead and say def previous candle range. And this is going to be our high one minus our low one. And then that gives us our range. Once we have that range, we can multiply that by 1/6. So that gives us a sixth of the individual range. And then once we have the sixth, we can go ahead and check. So add something here, which essentially checks if our previous candle's closing price is, let's say, less than, it must be less than or equal to the previous candle's low price plus one of these 1/6 ranges, which would tell us that we're in that bottom sixth chunk. Now, once we have this, let's go ahead and plot our bull signal. And for our bull signal, we can simply check if our current candle condition is true and our previous candle condition is true. Let's plot this. Let's give it a painting strategy. So I'll say painting strategy dot boolean arrow up. And we can get away with boolean arrow up since this should only return a 1 if both this condition and this condition are true, or it will return a 0 if either of these conditions are true. So let's see what we're left with. Now, so far, we can see that this arrow is plotting the way we would expect. We're seeing a few more arrows as well. So let's go ahead and check these to see if there's any other conditions that we want to add in, or if this is looking good the way we have it. So for the current condition that we were looking for, this is actually fairly solid. We translated that gap up pattern that we were looking for on the bullish side, and now you have a much easier way of identifying whenever this candlestick pattern actually occurs. Now let's create this for the bearish side as well. Let me remove all of these gaps. And actually, before we repeat this for the bearish side, I'm going to say set line weight, make these arrows a little easier to see. And since this is a candlestick pattern, I'm going to set this to a color .yellow so as to not have any kind of bias, and we'll make both the bullish and the bearish signals yellow. And all this code is doing is it's making it really easy for us to spot whenever this pattern actually occurs. Now let's go ahead and repeat this for our bearish side. And actually, before we do that, one trick that we can add is adding in the word bull to all of our variables here. So I can say bull previous candle range, and then bull previous candle condition. And now one neat trick that we can use, which we've already played around with just a little bit, is using something like a ChatGPT to write the opposite side. So I'll say write the bearish side of this code. And now that we've actually done some of the legwork here, let's see if it gives us the bearish side. And we'll manually verify this. All I want is a starting point, so I don't need to manually go in and type this. It just saves me a bunch of time. That's about it. And then we can use our intellect to fix any errors that it's made. So let's start with our bear candle condition. And here we're checking if our current candle is a red candle, so our close price should be less than the open. And we're checking if our close price is less than the previous candle's low, so that we know that this is the start of a bearish trend. And we also know that we have some sort of a gap since it's less than the previous candle's close. So this looks okay. Our next one just simply captures the range, divides it into 6. And once we have that range, this one should be taking the high and subtracting from it, which it's doing. And this candle is simply checking to make sure that our previous candle was an up candle. So that is looking good. We combine both of them, a bear arrow down with, let's change this color from red to yellow so as to not have any bias. Apply. And there you have it. In about 10 minutes, we translated a simple candlestick pattern observation that we had noticed and we made it much easier to actually test and validate whether or not this is a pattern that works consistently or if our eyes are playing tricks on us. It's easy to switch time frames and still observe this pattern. It's easy to test different symbols and still observe this pattern. It gives you an idea of being able to take your simple observations, your visual skills. I'm sure many of us have found candlestick patterns that we think are very likely to work, turn that into code, and actually put this to the test to see yes or no. Does this actually work, or is this something you'd want to skip? To take this one step further, we could take this code right here, turn it into a scan to find whenever this pattern does occur, and then build a backtester for both these bull and bear signals that then allows us to test the validity of this particular setup. It tells us how effective is it actually. That would force you to add some rules, some entry and exit rules to define what this strategy looks like, and then ThinkOrSwim can essentially go in and test, is this strategy a good one or is this strategy a bad one? I hope you found this simple ThinkScript tutorial useful. It was one to essentially just do on the whim, take a simple idea here, a simple pattern, and turn it into some code and show you the process that I would follow to do that. It's quite manual, requires just taking some observations, turning those observations into code, and then doing some manual backtesting. Take care, everyone. Good luck trading, and I'll see you in our next update.